Hello, I'm Dr. Serena Satcher, and the name of my practice is Regenesis Wellness, Treat Yourself to Health. So today we are going to be talking about lymphatics once I get the screen that I want here. And I hope you're having a great day. And let's see here. What do we want? Let's go here. All right. So I'm going to minimize myself out of here. And all right, let's get it going here. All right. Have any of you ever heard of lymphatics? I'm sure some of you have. This is probably going to be some major educational points for a lot of people, because even though you may have heard of it, you may not know what the lymphatics do or what their role is in the body. So I am going to talk about that a bit today. It's really important to know because whenever you have swelling in the body, the lymphatics have to move that fluid in addition to the blood flow. So, all right, I'm Dr. Serena Satcher. Like I said, I'm a medical doctor. And so, I saw this pattern when I was creating these slides, and I thought, that looks like the lymphatic system. So although it's a roadmap, you can see these nodes, the circular nodes being connected by all these straight lines. So this is what it looks like in the body. And you can see these little tiny lymph nodes all over the body. And they are connected by this chain of vessels that they're kind of like blood vessels, but kind of not. So, and they actually go throughout the body and throughout the brain. They don't really demonstrate, into the hand, but they go all over the body. So, I always say, to each patient carries his own doctor inside of him. This is a quote by Norman Cousins. And the middle of the functional medicine matrix has the mental, emotional, spiritual, and stress and adverse childhood experiences, trauma. They all impact this part of the matrix, which impacts all the other body systems. As you'll see on the next depiction here, all the other body systems are impacted by the mental, emotional, spiritual. And you know that I talk about Candace Pert a lot because she discovered these molecules of emotion that carry messages through the body and can cause disease. And this is a functional matrix, which you've also seen me mention quite a bit. Here we have the mental, emotional, spiritual in the middle of the matrix, surrounded by all the other biological systems. Assimilation is things like digestion, absorption, transport, includes the lymphatics. And we look at antecedents, triggers, and mediators. In each case, we map this out, and then we prescribe according to these modifiable lifestyle factors across the bottom. And I'm using this per the permission of IFM. So what can help our lymphatic drainage in the body? So there are lots of things that can help. And I am going to go through 10 of the tips for healthy lymphatic drainage. And exercise is one. And exercise, if you think about it, makes sense for everything. Circulation, lymphatics, because the muscle squeezes the lymphatics in the blood vessels and moves all the blood and the lymphatics around the body. Lymphatic vessels don't have valves. Blood vessels have valves to prevent backflow, but lymphatic does not. So it really relies on muscle tone to move the fluid around the body. And it also relies on smooth muscle, which is controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system and the vagus nerve. So stress, we mentioned that at the middle of the mental, emotional, spiritual node. as being super important for disease, period. You can sweep it. So, if you consume fiber, also, we'll talk about, other than exercise, there are things that you can do to help it move through your limbs, like massage, like lymphatic massage in particular, and then sweat it out. So you will sweat out fluids if you sit in a sauna, especially a dry sauna, is good for lymphatic drainage. And then herbs, I'm sure you're familiar with this. We're going to get into this. Dry brushing and dry brushing, eating foods that are nutritious, hydrating, dressing right. So loose clothing is important. Getting a massage. I think this is spelled wrong. I think it's supposed to be MASSAGE. Sorry about that. And osteopathic or chiropractic adjustments, which you can understand why that makes sense, because if your spine's out of line, that's going to back up the lymphatics and the blood flow. So exercise is what we'll talk about first. And there's certain types of exercise that are more beneficial, actually. Things like rebounding. These are little mini trampolines. They call them rebounders. And then a vibration plate. This is also very, very effective. This is effective for weight loss, for circulation, for maintaining muscle mass. These exercises are also beneficial for that. All right, what are we going to do for stress, right? Stress management includes these types of exercise that I call mind-body exercise, things like yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, Qigong, all the martial arts. They actually move the fascia, which fascia lays right under your skin, and the muscles attached to the fascia. And when you look in when you look at the anatomy, like if you look at a cadaver, that layer of fascia is very, very tough. It's like kind of like tough vinyl. It has that consistency. And these types of exercises help to stretch and move that fascia. So it's very beneficial. And also meditation is helpful. So think about that also. And then we talked about sauna, but I didn't mention infrared light. So some saunas have infrared light. You can buy infrared spectrum lights from companies like Joule. There are other companies that carry these types of lights that you can buy for home use. And they really heat up the skin, and it helps the circulation and the lymphatics. So herbs, here's a list of herbs that are beneficial to the lymphatics. Holy basil is good for holy basil, panax, ginseng, rhodiola, cordyceps, ashwagandha, all good for the adrenal glands and for stress, as well as for the lymphatics. Reishi mushroom has a lot of benefits as well, just overall. Milk thistle is good for liver. So that's going to help move fluids through the liver and the lymphatics. Essiac is actually a mix of different herbs that were discovered probably in the 1940s or 1930s, that it helped to combat, prevent cancer. That particular combination of herbs helps the lymphatics. And mangista is a red root. It comes from Ayurvedic medicine. And also red is a theme with lymphatics. It helps with lymphatic drainage, red foods, red herbs. Essential oils. So lavender is a big one. Lemon and citrus, very commonly used to help with lymphatic drainage. And you'll find that they're used with lymphatic massage, but they can also be taken internally in small amounts. It has to be essential oils that are approved for oral use. And I do sell some of those out of my store on my website at treatyourselftohealth.com. And if you go to store, you'll see it on the upper right-hand side of the website. And so the essential oils that I sell in the store are pharmaceutical grade. So dry brushing, this is where you would take this brush and brush it briskly on your skin, going in a direction up towards the heart, and trying to cover all the parts of the body. If you go and get a Thai massage, a lot of times they'll do the body brushing for you. An anti-inflammatory diet, as I mentioned, the red foods like beets, cherries, raspberries, cranberries, pomegranates are very beneficial to the lymphatic system. And then hydrating with mineralizing water is important. Drink warm water throughout the day to stay hydrated. And this helps the blood flow and everything. When you drink cold water, that tends to constrict the blood vessels. So keeping the core warm helps to circulate. And drinking cold water is also beneficial. And then alkalinizing the water by adding lemon. And you need to be sipping on water for frequently, like every quarter hour for 2 weeks to get rehydrated when you get dehydrated. Wear loose clothing. So if the clothing is constriction, that can constrict lymphatic flow as well. I mentioned lymphatic massage. It's a specific type of massage. You can get a general massage and that will help with lymphatics. It could be more tedious to find a person that knows lymphatic massage. It's a special technique. And to me, it reminds me of the Swedish technique. Is very light touch. And it's also moving the lymphatics towards the heart to get the drainage going. We typically will recommend the lymphatic massage after someone has like plastic surgery. So that's an example. And then I mentioned chiropractic and osteopathic adjustments, because of course, if your spine's out of line, you have blood vessels and lymphatics that run next to the spine. So say if you have a herniated disc, that's going to block lymphatic drainage and you'll have more pain and more swelling. So getting chiropractic and osteopathic adjustments regularly, and sometimes the massage therapists know how to do some of these manipulations. I'm a physical medicine and rehab doctor in my conventional life, or traditional medicine life. So I know how to do some of these adjustments, but I would say osteopathic doctors and chiropractors, that's what they're known for. And we also know that when people get cancer or when they get chronic diseases like COVID-19 long haulers, like Lyme disease, like chronic mold, the lymphatics stop flowing freely. There's usually constrictions in the fascia that are preventing the fascia from sliding the way it's supposed to and preventing the lymphatics from flowing freely. There can be things that are clogging up the lymphatics when people have cancer, or when they have one of the diseases, the chronic diseases that I mentioned. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I'll just remind you again to go to my website at treatyourselftohealth.com and click on schedule, or click on learn more or more about this practice, and you can schedule a 10-minute conversation with me, or you can schedule a 30-minute visit with me. I'm soon going to be changing it to just a single 30-minute visit. That'll be a paid visit. So please tell your friends and family. Please go and like my YouTube page, which is treatyourselftohealth.com, and also go and subscribe or join my Facebook or my Instagram. All are at treatyourselftohealth.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as Dr. Serena Satcher. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you were able to watch this today, and I look forward to helping you in the future. Bye bye.